right, so let's go to Kimmy Kim Kim in our social media room. I know she got all dolled up. I saw her leave to go to the bathroom with her makeup kit. There she is at 5 o'clock. At 5 o'clock, you look like you had a full day of work. And then in 30 minutes, you are just like all dolled up, all makeup, ready to go. There you go.
Turn it around.
There, you turn it around fast. That is for sure. All right.
Be on the air looking like an 8-hour day, Brad.
Yes, it's not an 8-hour day for you, but somehow you refresh yourself. You freshen up very, very nicely. So, you know, right? Or as they say, you clean up very nicely, right?
I clean up good.
Yeah, you clean up good. All right. So let's get to straight away because we got a lot going on here. Let's get to our social media check-in.
So Riza would like to know, my mom's an American citizen and she petitioned for my brother who's in the Philippines in 2000. We got an email from NVC June of 2013 to pay the affidavit of support, but then we asked to change status of my brother from F1 to F3. How many more years do we have to wait for their visa?
They're right now for the Philippines for married children. They're up to March 22nd, 1995. Had he not gotten married, they're up to October 15th, 2005. He would have got his green card. But because he got married, it's 1995. Thus, we continue with the canard of chain migration. Mom, who is a U.S. citizen, has been waiting 18 years for her son to come here. Hardly a chain, and will be waiting at least 5 more.
Right. Yeah, 20 whole years.
Yes.
What a
Or
change.
maybe more. Or maybe more.
Or maybe.
Yeah.
Reginald wants to know, I need an explanation on bad moral character and how it can be used against you once you've been convicted of a crime. Can they use bad moral character against you even if the one arrest you had was dismissed and sealed?
Yes, because bad moral character means that you have a bad mind, bad intent. It has nothing to do with a criminal conviction. Now, bad moral character doesn't mean that you have to have good moral character or you have to be a good person every day of your life. Everybody is entitled to a bad day. So you got one arrest in your entire life, and that case was dismissed. I would argue, and I think I would argue successfully, you had a bad day. Doesn't make you a bad person. If, on the other hand, you have a series of arrests all for the same thing, and you got lucky that they all got dismissed, but let's say you got arrested for, like, I don't know, domestic violence like 3 or 4 times. I'm making something up. And,
right.
you know, and then the victim chose not to, testify against you. The DA couldn't make out a crime, and they finally dismissed it 3 or 4 times. And they see, wow, you've been arrested for domestic violence 3 or 4 times in the last 8 years, and each time it was dismissed. You may have a good moral character issue, you know. So it depends on what that particular situation is.
We've got Regina who says, I've got a 10-year permanent residence, which is going to expire next year, but unfortunately my husband passed away in 2016. He was a U.S. citizen. In this situation, how do I go about getting my U.S. citizenship application?
He passed away in 2016. You have to file a widow petition within 2 years of the death. So you're coming up on the 2 years. I don't know when in 2016 did he pass, because we're in 2018 already.
It does not say when
so you're
he passed.
You're coming up very close to, like, I can't help you anymore. Yeah. So she should be calling me immediately.
Donna says, my friend's a green card holder. She lives in New York. She's got a boyfriend in Jamaica, and she wants to go down and marry him. But she hasn't paid any taxes since she got her green card. Can she still file for him?
Yeah, but then why didn't she pay taxes? Has she not worked? Because if she's working, not paying taxes, let her file back tax returns, and you can come to Carmela in our office, and she'll try to write off, your debt, negotiate it down. Alternatively, if she's not working and she's just living off the fat of the land, yeah, she can still marry. There's no law that says you can't get married. You're just going to need an affidavit of support from somebody else.
Kamara wants to know, my friend wants to know if her husband pays child support. Is it going to affect him filing for her? She's from Jamaica.
No, you're supposed to pay child support. It's a good thing,
right.
Not a bad thing.
Well done on continuing to pay your child support.
Well done. You're taking care of your kid. Yeah.
Yeah. We want more people just like you.
Yeah, exactly. On the other hand, you're like, this guy I'm going to marry, he's a deadbeat. He hasn't paid his child support in 4 years. Will that affect? That's a different story. Yes, he's got back to child support. He's doing the right thing. He married a good guy.
And I was going to say, if he has many years of back child support.
Oh no. Oh no.
Do we have technical
We have to.
difficulties?
We can't entertain everybody.
Okay.
Entertain. I dropped this. I can't hear anything. Entertain everybody. I will slowly go down. I have this thing for everybody. This is what allows me to hear. This fell because, you want to know why? You know who I blame for all of this? You know who I blame for all of this? Patrice is supposed to dress me.
Definitely.
Okay? Patrice did not dress me. I'm dressing myself now. Okay? For some reason, she feels she doesn't have to do it anymore. And this is what happens. I don't know where she got the memo that she doesn't have to dress me. So I just, all my, now this sounds dirty, but I'm about to say, all my equipment just fell out of my pants, So, that sounds that's all because of Patrice, That sounds very dirty, but that's exactly what happened. All my equipment just fell out of my pants. All right. What else? Let's go.
Man.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to top that.
You don't
I
have
do
anything,
have some
yeah.
questions.
Okay,
but
let's
they're
get
not
to
going to be.
Okay.
Dane wants to know. Dane Williams, ATL, has been repping the ATL for probably decades, I'm assuming.
Right.
Decade says, Dane wants to know, what's the filing fee for a green card? I'm filing for my wife. She's here and out of status.
What's the filing fee for a green card? My wife, if you're a citizen, she's overstayed her time, it's $1,760.
We have Yasmin, who says, I came to the U.S. On an illegal visa in 1997.
And by the way, Christine Lewis Anderson, yes, I'm blaming Patrice because I always blame other people. I can't take the blame myself. Okay, continue. I'm just reading as we go along. Okay. I mean, why would it be my fault? It's got to be somebody else's fault, right? Yeah. All right.
This is why we say that it's honest to a team, man.
That's right.
You're not taking responsibility.
I'm not taking responsibility. Okay. So what else we got?
Yasmin came to the U.S. On an illegal visa in 1997.
Right.
She was sent back home, obviously. Can daughter now file for her?
No, because she needs a waiver. You can't get a waiver through the daughter for that. You can only do a waiver through a spouse or a parent.
Okay. We've got Francesca, who says, I came here as a J1 student, and I feel really afraid of my country, which is the Dominican Republic.
Why?
Every day.
It's Dominican Independence Day.
Well,
Is this Francesca? By the way, this was Francesca who called before, but we were having, I think, a issue with the call. All right, so now this is Francesca with the question on Facebook. Let's start again. I want to give her a good answer.
Okay.
On Dominican Republic Independence Day, nevertheless.
Right. You got to do it right, Brad.
Yes.
You have to
Right.
The Dominican Republic is watching right now.
Yes. Okay. So why is she scared to go back?
So she's scared to go back because every day it's worse and worse. Robbers can kill you just to rob you of the smallest thing. When I was there, I didn't feel myself. I didn't feel secure. And just before I came last May of 2017, I was robbed in a terrible way with a gun to my head. It's been even more traumatic since. I'm scared. I'm very scared to go back. Is there any way I can become legal in the United States? And if so, what do I need?
You're not going to become legal because you come from a country that you feel is dangerous. That's not a reason to apply for a green card. I come from a dangerous country. Okay? You can apply. Now, people are probably, your armchair lawyer, okay? The armchair lawyer sitting at home is saying, well, why don't you apply for asylum? That's not asylum. Asylum is not because bullets are flying over your head or you're getting robbed. You have to belong to a group that's being persecuted to get asylum. I don't know what group she would, crime victims of the Dominican Republic. I'm not exactly sure what the group would be. So she, based on that alone, that would not be a claim for asylum. I don't know what else she has going for her. I understand maybe she doesn't want to go back, but let's think of, maybe other ways. I don't have the answer. And her question basically is, how do I get a green card? So she would need to have a consultation. I know she's up in Massachusetts, and I think what she should do is have a phone consultation with us.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Kamara has an update to the hubby that's filing for her, or to the boyfriend, fiance that will file for her once they're married.
Right.
He does have back child support. The current ones are up to date, but he does owe back child support.
How much back child? So we were telling him, he was like boyfriends of the year, but maybe maybe he's
Go him.
not the boyfriend of the year.
He
Maybe
is
something less
now,
than
but
that.
he wasn't before.
Does he owe right now? How much does he owe right now?
We don't know how much he owes right now. We do know that he owes.
Okay, so we got to get that straightened out. If it's like a couple $100, a couple thousand, maybe he can get that straightened out. But if he owes $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, the U.S. government's going to say, "Hey, pal," not in those words, but they're going to say, "Hey, pal, you don't support your kids. What makes you think you're going to be able to support somebody else that you bring from another country?" So we got to get that under control first before you apply for your green card. Now, that doesn't mean he shouldn't go down and marry you, and that doesn't mean you shouldn't go file the I-130, because this child support issue is going to come up 1 year from now, not today, 1 year from now when you go to the U.S. Embassy. So start the process, and then also simultaneously, let's start the process of trying to fix the child support issues.
Joy says, is the medical needed for approval of the EAD?
No.
It's a Navy gal wants to know, my mother-in-law put in for her 3 kids. They are aged 45, 44, and 43 in 2013. How much longer is the wait?
What was this person's name, gal?
It's Navy gal.
Where's Navy gal from?
It doesn't say.
Okay, assuming you're not from China, India, Mexico, or the Philippines, they're up to March 22nd, 2011, and you have about 2 more years. If you are from China, India, Mexico, or the Philippines, my answer would change.
Melinda says, I've got a friend that came here on a C1 visa. If she gets married, is it possible for her to get her papers without having to go back to Jamaica?
If she's 245I, or if she marries someone in the Navy, or in the military, or former military, you can get a parole in place. Otherwise, you need to get a provisional waiver. And by the way, I was just saying, somebody came to me the other day and said, I'm terrified of this provisional waiver. I said, I can't tell you about anybody else, and obviously you can't guarantee that a provisional waiver will get approved. But I said every provisional waiver that we got approved, I can guarantee you this, every provisional waiver that we got approved in this office here at Spar and Bernstein, somebody went home, they came back. So I told the person, I said, if you get stuck back home, you would be the first of hundreds and hundreds, if not more. I don't even know how many we did, but a lot.
Yes. So either play the lottery or
just
you trust Spar Bernstein.
Correct.
Baby wants to know, I'm a green card holder and my husband is a U.S. citizen. I just want to bring my mom here from the Philippines for a visit. So what I really want to ask is, how long do we need to wait for processing her documents to let her come here? I'm really hoping that you can help us with the process.
She's a permanent resident or she's a citizen?
She's a permanent resident and she's married to a green card holder.
Okay.
And she's married to a U.S. citizen.
Well, the mom there's nothing for me to process. The mom can go in and try to get a visitor's visa. And if she gets it, wonderful. She has to show enough ties back home. If not, if she needs help in terms of what should the mother bring to the embassy, I'm happy to have that consultation with her. If the mother gets turned down, and I think that the mother should have gotten a visa, we could always call the U.S. Embassy and argue it out with them. Or we can wait for baby to become a citizen and then just file for the mom, one or the other, and get her mom a green card.
We've got lots of options there.
Lots of options.
Nitz says, I'm a U.S. citizen through marriage.
Right.
I've been here in the U.S. for about 10 years. My question is, can I go ahead and petition for my brother or sister? And if so, how long is it going to take to come here when I file the petition?
The brother or sister is going to take 10 to 12 years. So if you come here, you're going to live here illegally for 10 to 12 years while you're waiting for that. So let's come up with a better option. There may be better options. There may not be. I don't know. That's why we have the consultation.
This is why we have the consultation.
Correct.
Cynthia says, I'd like to see if you can help me pass to get a visa to the U.S. because I failed my interview twice already.
Why did she fail her interview? What, to get a visitor's visa?
Yes.
This is to get the visitor's visa. To get the visitor's visa, you have to have enough ties to your home country. So and it's for you, the U.S. Embassy doesn't have to give anybody a visa. They're under no obligation to give out even one visa. It is your obligation to go to the U.S. Embassy and convince the man behind the window that you're coming to visit and you're going home in 2 or 3 weeks or a month. You're not staying here in the United States for 6, 8, 10, 12 months. You're going to overstay your visa, or you're going to work. It's your obligation. What do you have in your life? Jobs, homes, property, other assets, family being left behind. What do you have that's going to be a magnet that brings you back to your country? And you got to be able to demonstrate that at the window.
Kamara, whose boyfriend, fiance, significant other owes back child support, says instead of having the husband file an affidavit of support, could she maybe get an affidavit from a different family member, and that would curb the child support issue totally?
No, the husband has to file an affidavit of support by law. So, and the government looks at what's called the totality of circumstances. That's the test. So they look at everything. So, that's why I said if it's a couple $1,000s, yeah, you can get an affidavit of support from a second person. It's possible. They'll say, all right, in totality of circumstances, you can get a green card. If the husband owes $20,000, $30,000 in back support, I'm telling you, you're going to have a big problem.
Faith says, my mom filed for me in May of 2012. I am now married. How much time do we have to wait?
Your mom filed in 2012. You're now married. If you are not from, I assume you are not from China, India, Mexico, or the Philippines.
Hopefully.
If you are, you have a much longer wait. If you are from any other country, they're processing December 15th, 2005. And when did mom file?
2012. In May of 2012.
You got a while. And if you are single, they're up to March 22nd, 2011. I'm not telling you to divorce your husband, but if you did, you would come here in a year, but then your husband's left behind. Nobody's telling you to do that. Okay, I'm just, those are the facts. Now, maybe what people don't understand, Kimmy Kim, is just because you're waiting all of these years, your family members, we hear this every day, and maybe we should have a group. Let's start a group. People who have been waiting a really long time. The chain migration is a myth group. Part of
support group,
because people who are waiting such a long time, there are other options. Job sponsorships. Maybe there's other options as well. Just because you went down one path and you're waiting a long time doesn't mean that's the only option in the world. There's other options, but you need to have a consultation with us. I do hear in my ear that we have a lot of questions on Facebook Live, so let's go back to Kimmy Kim with more of your immigration questions. Kimmy Kim. Hello. We have shy people today. They're all leaving their questions on Facebook. What's up with that?
Well, if you're a little bit of a narcissist like me, you see it as they just really want to see my face too.
No. I just think I really think it's shyness. I really think it's shyness. I wish they would have called, because then I could speak with them and you can take a break and chat with your squad on Facebook. So if people do call, we will speak with them at 1-800-LAW-LINK, 1-800-529-5465. But in the meantime, we're going to take you away from your chatting with your squad, and we're going to get back to our Facebook questions. What else we got?
We've got Marshallette, who really wants to know, her friend is filing for her citizenship next month. And she wants to know how soon she can put in for her papers for her mom, who she's also planning on filing for.
Her friend is filing for her mom?
Friend is getting her citizenship.
Friend is getting her citizenship
next month, and then after she gets her citizenship, she wants to go ahead and file for her mom.
The next day after you become a citizen, you put in the papers. And by the way, we will take calls, Kim, if I have to bully people into calling. 1-800-529-5465.
We've got Joan, who says, what jobs offer the best sponsorship to cut the time of chain migration?
Almost any job right now. The waiting list for job sponsorships is for every country but China, El Salvador, India, Mexico, and the Philippines is current. So from your nanny and housekeeper all the way up to nuclear scientist, it's the same wait. 12, 18 months. Okay, so almost any job, as long as you can prove you're not taking a job away from an American worker.
So Lisa says, what happens if a person can't find their I-94 even on the website?
Why do you need the I? It depends why you need the I-94.
Lisa, why do you need the I-94?
Let's find Kimmy Kim Kim with some more social media questions. Kimmy Kim Kim.
Braddy Brad.
What's going on?
Oh, just talking to my peeps in the Brad Squad in the comments.
Yeah, and
trying to keep everyone in line.
What are we coming up with?
Oh man, there is nothing wholesome or family friendly about the comments today.
All right, so I don't even want to read. I just looked down now. Tamika Nelson says, "Man, I got to shave." All right, I buy that one. I can't argue with that.
Really, we've been putting Jeff Bosey in timeout all day long.
All right.
So Jeff Bosey is in timeout because he doesn't know how to behave in Facebook comments.
That is true. Probably true.
It's always a good time. He can't contain himself when he sees Anna Banana.
Yeah. We can only do about 3 or 4 minutes before he explodes. So
exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We
were originally going to have like a 12-minute Anna segment. I'm like, no. Jeff will have a heart attack. All right.
God, no.
What do we got here in social media?
Marky Bent wants to know, what's the price to renew a work permit?
You don't have to. Well, if it's on an adjustment, you shouldn't have to pay the filing fee.
Christine says, is it possible for you to get a work permit for my relative? I'm currently in the process of filing for my citizenship.
Can you get a work permit for your relative?
Yes.
What do you mean you want to get a work permit for your relative? Who's your relative? You don't get anything for anybody. They apply for their own work permit. So let's figure out who your relative is, where they are, what is your relationship to them, and then take it from there.
What we actually need to do with them.
Right.
Brenda says...
Yeah, but I know this guy. Could you get him a work permit? I don't,
Right,
I mean, that's the question.
Yeah. My third cousin twice removed that I haven't seen.
Right.
No. Brenda says, good evening. If you bring kids from the Caribbean and you'd like to do a DNA test for them, they live in New Jersey. Can you do it? When I asked somebody, they said that you can't do it if it's in New York, but you can in New Jersey. Is that true?
No, you can do it anywhere. Just the DNA testing lab is in New Jersey. So, like, if you live in New York, they're going to send you to the DNA testing lab in New Jersey. I think that's what she's talking about.
See, you always know the answer.
Yes.
Willig, I don't know, says, how long is the total process for job sponsorships?
18 months, 20 months, 16 months, somewhere in there. More than 1 year, less than 2.
That is such an insane pace compared to every other wait time we talk about. Riza says, I've got one more question. My friend was arrested in 2011 for grand theft and burglary here in California. He's a green card holder, and his green card has been expired since 2014. Can you advise him what to do for him to renew his green card?
What? Grand theft? Renew green card?
Grand theft.
I think he should be calling me. That sounds like a felony. I wouldn't be renewing anything, especially when you have an arrest. You shouldn't be filing anything for renewal. You shouldn't be doing any citizenship till you speak to me or speak to a good attorney, so that way you know you're not going to get yourself deported. But you just don't go randomly filing to renew your green card.
Yeah, that's way too risky.
Yes.
That's way too risky. Marco says, I also came here on a J-1 visa 2 years ago. Is there any option for me to gain legal status? My grandfather is a citizen and wanted to try to petition for me. Would that work? And if so, what do I do, and how long is it going to take?
How is this person an adult?
Yes,
okay.
It seems so.
All right, but grandpa never filed for mom or dad?
Does not say. So I'm going to assume
and where's this person from? First of all, grandpa can't do anything for an adult. Okay, it's possible. All right, so let's keep grandpa out of it. Unless grandpa filed for mom or dad before you were 21, then that's a different situation. But assuming grandpa never did anything and you're an adult, grandpa's out of the situation. So now your question is, how do I get a green card? Again, you're going to need if the question is, how do I get a green card? The first thing that should pop through your mind is call 1-800-529-5465 and set up a consultation.
That would be step one to getting a green card forever and ever.
Correct.
Christine has a follow-up, the one who wanted the green card for the work permit for her relative. Here's the real issue. She wants to file for her son, who is 28 years old, but the filing is going to take too long. She wants him to be able to work while they are filing for him because it is going to be such a long wait.
Right. Well, when you do a job sponsorship, you're not getting a work permit while you're going through the job sponsorship. What a job sponsorship is an offer of employment when you get a green card. So if you have an employer who wants to prospectively sponsor you and they say, you know what, we don't want to hire this person right now because they're out of status, but we promise to hire them when they become legal and get a green card, that process is approximately 18 months right now. Now, the fact that you worked illegally during the job sponsorship process should not be a bar to getting a green card unless you're violating your visa status. Then you would have to do some sort of waiver and go home and come back. So, every situation is different.
So this wasn't for the job sponsorship one. This was because she wanted to get the work permit for her relative. The relative in question that she wants a work permit for is her son.
Her adult son, she does not get a work permit for an adult son. He's waiting years. Yeah. I understand the question now.
Joan says, at what age do children age out as a beneficiary on a filing if it began when they were 11 years old?
The age out is 21, but then they have the Child Status Protection Act. See, everything is an but with immigration. So the general rule is you age out at 21. So when you turn 21, you fall off the case. But they have something called the Child Status Protection Act. Child Status Protection Act is supposed to protect children. So if you are so this is the rules. If it's a U.S. citizen filing for a child under 21, the child never ages out. Child's age is stuck on the day of the filing. If it's something where the child is a derivative beneficiary on an I-130, so let's say it's grandpa, father filing for child, and now this is your child. You're the son or daughter of somebody. Once the child turns 21 years old, they fall off. But under the Child Status Protection Act, you get to add on the time it took for the I-130 to get approved. So let's say hypothetically the I-130 took, it's a weird law, it doesn't really make much sense, but that's what it is. So let's say the I-130 took 2 years to get approved. In these cases, you want the I-130 to take as long as you can to get approved because then you're going to get more benefit on the Child Status Protection Act. So if the I-130 took 2 years to get approved, you get till the 23rd birthday, provided the priority dates are current by the 23rd birthday.
Got it.
Did you really get that?
I did. Really? I did.
Or you're just saying I got it and have no idea what the hell I'm saying.
No, I think that makes total sense. Okay. But the fact that they have that extra kind of leeway is really interesting because then you end up praying that the government works extra slow.
Correct. And the answer is every case is different when you age out. Really.
That blows my mind. Yeah. The one time that you really hope government bureaucracy screws you as hard as it can.
Exactly.
Wow. So bad. It's such a backward system. So Marco had some follow-up. He had been here on a J1 2 years. Grandfather was a citizen. Grandfather had actually filed for aunts and uncles. He had attempted to file for his mom, but it didn't work because she didn't follow up with the case, and so she never actually got her green card. Since grandfather filed for mom, is there any way to piggyback off of that somehow, even though mom never got her green card?
Yes, if grandpa filed for mom and this was done in the 1990s, then you possibly have a 245I situation. You're grandfathered under the old laws. You can pay a penalty fee at the end of a new case, whether it's a job sponsorship or some family sponsorship, and be able to get your green card here. Put you in a much better position.
Lisa says, what's an H-2R visa?
I have no idea. There's no such thing. There's an H-2B visa, but no H-2R.
What is an H-2B?
That's a seasonal worker. Come for 6 months and go home.
Spencer says, Brad, thank you so much for the phone consultation a little while ago. I was wondering, what is the working visa or status of a working visa that goes straight for a green card, since there are working visas that are dual intent, like an H-1B and an EB-3?
Right. What is the status of it?
Yeah, what is the working visa or status?
The H-1B visa. All right, let's start with H-1B visa. That's a professional work visa. You have to have a college degree. You have to be working in a job related to that college degree. you have to have as a minimum requirement for that job a college degree. And then you have to be paid the prevailing wage. So you have to have a college degree, be working in a job related to the college degree, and the minimum requirements for that job require a college degree. So let's take that. Let's take that you are want to work as a botanist. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Or you went to school as a botanist. It's somebody who studies flowers. You got a job as a botanist somewhere. So
like to say botanist.
Yes. So you have a degree in botany. You're working as a botanist, which would require a college degree, and it's related to your education. Versus you have a degree in botany, and you get a job in a flower shop sweeping the floors. Now, you're working in a job related to your degree, but the minimum requirements for that job to sweep the floors in a flower shop do not require your degree. So remember, it's degree, the job relates to your degree, and the minimum requirements for that job require you to have a degree. It's kind of circular reasoning, but that's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the H-1B deadline is April 1st. So if you have an H-1B case, you got to do it now.
Out of just my own follow-up, because sometimes I like to delve deeper. What if how closely tied does your degree have to? For example, I have a degree in journalism, and I'm working in social media, digital media. Would that be close enough, or does it have to be I have to be working as a journalist?
Well, it depends what classes you took.
Oh, wow!
We would delve into what were classes that you took. Did you, if you're working as a journalist, for example, did you take journalism classes, or you have a degree in journalism, but maybe you took, I mean, this is, I went to school in the 90s before social media existed.
Right. Yes.
I mean, are there actual classes in social media? I have no idea.
Right. Oh, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
So Marjorie wants to know, she starts with, my name is Andrea. So really, Andrea, under Marjorie's Facebook account, wants to know, can my brother, who has a business, do a work permit for me while I'm undocumented?
Can your brother have a business do a work permit for you? The answer is no. You can't be sponsored by family members. And the reason you can't is that you have to be able to show that you're not taking a job away from an American worker, and the government would say what family member would give a job to a stranger over a family member. So it's really not a fair test of the labor market under the rules.
We've got Cheryl who says, if I'm working here illegally for my boss and my boss is sponsoring me, do I have to go home, or am I going to stay here until I get my green card?
If you violated your visa status, you're going to go home to get your green card. The question is, when you go home, can you do a provisional waiver? Are you going to have a 10-year bar? Or maybe your 245I, like remember the grandpa filed for the mom, and this was in the 90s, that would grandfather you in. So a lot depends. We would need to speak with you.
Speaking of grandfathered in through the grandfather, possibly 245I, if Marco is 245I, would he need to go back to the Dominican Republic, or can he do the full petition while he's here?
Everything done here.
Oh, wow. Rona wants to know, my mom filed for my sister 5 years ago. How much longer are they going to have to wait? Sister is over 21.
When did Lisa file for the sister?
It does 5 years ago.
Oh, you're going to wait a while. They're right now up to January 22nd, 2005.
Super ironic, because you and I were just talking about this today. Lena wants to know, I'm a daughter of a World War II vet here in the Philippines.
Oh.
Could we sons and daughters of the World War II vets cash in on the privileges that went to the United States veterans at the time, even though my father has passed away?
Okay. Only because we talked about it today.
Only because we talked about this.
All right. So this is the deal. If you're a Filipino or Filipina, and most people who were in World War II are probably dead now or 101 years old. But assuming you were in a guerrilla unit that was fighting the Japanese on the side of the Allies, which was the United States, and you were able to prove it, you got U.S. citizenship. Now,
and that was you yourself.
You yourself. It didn't go to your children, okay? Now you come to America, you get benefits. The moment you die, that's the end of the benefits. It doesn't go, the benefits do not continue to flow to the family in the Philippines after your death. And we get that question all the time. But line Kimmy Kim Kim, I understand we got a whole slew of additional questions that came in on social media. Let's get through them before our show is up. Let's see if we can answer everybody's questions. Kimmy Kim Kim, how are you?
Brad, I'm doing well.
All right.
I do have an addendum to being a goat, though. You know what else a goat is other than a scapegoat?
What?
GOAT stands for greatest of all time.
Greatest of all time.
Tamika Nelson and I are both goats.
Both goats. What was I, the monkey?
You're a monkey,
Monkey's just a very mischievous, smelly animal.
Yeah, but
there's nothing else that goes with monkey. I'm the monkey.
Very resourceful.
What?
No, I think what is the actual meaning of the Chinese zodiac monkey? I don't know. I feel like
Jill's yelling in my ear. Monkeys are smart and agile. I'm not very agile. Although if we do ever hit 300, I promise I will do the flip off the table.
The flip. People were asking for it today.
Well, we didn't hit 300. We only got to about 160 or 170, I think. But once we hit 300, the flip is coming. I'm telling you.
And let me tell you, when we got to 170, they were like more than halfway.
Right, the flip. They're halfway to the flip. That's right.
They are really trying to.
You're going to see me go over. I can do it. I may break my back. There may be no more Brad show after that, but I am going to do it.
It'll be a Brad show from Brad's wheelchair.
Yes, exactly. All right, so what do we got? Let's finish up because we only have about 12 minutes to go. So I know we have a whole slew of immigration questions.
We do. So Lisa wants to know, my husband has a 10-year green card, but got in trouble with the law, and currently he's serving 13 months in federal prison. I need to know what I need.
Sounds like he's getting deported 13 months in federal. Oh, excuse me. What is?
Don't go there. We're gonna wait for you to die for you to do the flip, Brad. Don't.
I don't know. I just drank something down the wrong. You know, like when you drink it, it just went right down the wrong tube. All right. So 13 months in federal prison doesn't sound like a pleasant experience, and it sounds like an aggravated felony. What did he do wrong?
It doesn't say what he did. All it says is, I really don't want him to get deported.
Well,
what can you do?
He's definitely going to go through the deportation process. Whether he gets deported or not, I don't know. We got to find out what he was found guilty of. That's the first step.
Kamisha says, I'm a victim of domestic violence, and I brought my husband from another country, Bangladesh. And after getting his green card, he left me and my son. How can you guys help?
Who is the victim of domestic violence?
The wife who's
the U.S. citizen.
Yes, who brought the husband from Bangladesh.
So what is the help that she wants us? Does she need help? Does she need help in getting her life back together after the domestic violence? That would be more of a violence counselor than a lawyer, but we can definitely direct her in the right direction. Does she want help deporting this guy? She wants to get back at this guy. She wants to bring criminal charges against him. I'm not sure what the help she wants from a lawyer. She apparently would need help from some sort of social worker and victims counselor and violence counselor for certain, but that's not the job of a lawyer. So I'm not sure what she wants from me, but I'll try to help her as best as I can.
Jane says, I'm filing for my son right now for child support from my son's father. But when I call my son's father, he dodges our calls. I really need your advice. What am I supposed to do? I know he's still working as an Army recruiter, and he does nothing to support my son.
Go to family court. You go to family court.
What if Jane is not in the United States?
Where's the child?
I believe the child is with Jane.
Okay, so you can't get child support in the United States unless it is where the child is. It's not where Jane is. So if Jane has the child in another country, Jane needs to come to the United States with that child, and Jane then needs to bring a child support petition in the state in which Jane is with that child. Now, maybe Jane can't come to America. That's a whole other story. But from another country, you don't get child support. You only get child support if you are in the United States with that child.
Marco is back. He has the
Marco is back.
grandfather. He might be 245I. We're not sure. His mom was filed for, but never got the green card. I just want to confirm what Brad said because I don't think I understood.
Okay.
Am I going to need to go back, or even if I have my status here through my grandpa, can grandpa petition for me? I just want to make sure he's got his ducks in a row.
All right. His ducks are all over the place right now. Okay.
His ducks are everywhere.
All right. So there's two things. One, he has to start a new case all over again. Whether it's grandpa can't sponsor you. There's no such thing as grandpa sponsoring you. You have to get sponsored by a parent, a spouse, a child, a brother, sister, or a job. Those are your options. Or maybe the visa lottery. Now, at the end of the case, whether it's family sponsorship, employment sponsorship, visa lottery, even investor sponsorship, you need to be able to show that you are eligible to get your green card here, adjust your status here rather than go to another country. Because if you go to another country, then you need provisional waivers or you're going to have a 10-year bar. What I said that puts you in a better position is that if you were included on a case in the 1990s, grandpa filing for your mom or your dad, and you were under 21 at the time when the case started, then that grandfathers you in under 245I. You can use that old case to pay the penalty fee to get your green card here, but you need a new case, a new sponsorship to actually get the green card. So the old case gets you the appointment, the adjustment here. The new case gives you the green card. It's like a 1 + 1 = 2 situation. It's like 2 Oreo cookies, the sandwich coming together, and you have it. That's a really bad analogy. All right, let's go back to it's like one. Okay, it's like I was thinking Oreo cookie. I'm getting hungry. I've been doing this for too long.
I was gonna
All
say,
right,
that's
so
just
let's
your
go.
hunger
That's my stomach talking. That made absolutely no sense. Let's go back to it's 1 + 1 = 2. You need the old case. You need the old case to get you the appointment. You need the new case for the green card. How's that?
That makes
All right,
sense.
so he needs a sponsorship, but he gets the old case, gives him the opportunity to pay a penalty fee and get his green card here. Forget the Oreo cookie.
Forget the Oreo cookie that would have just messed you up even more.
Correct.
So we've got Lisa, who says, a different Lisa, but a Lisa nonetheless, says, I'm a licensed pharmacist here in the Philippines. I tried my luck last June as a tourist in New York, but didn't get a visa. I wanted to know if there's any other way for me to go legally with me applying for a working visa as a farm tech or anything that's related to my profession here.
Yeah, but she would need to get a job sponsorship and maybe try to do an H-1B visa. But she needs the employer here to sponsor her. She's not going to get a job as a pharmacist because you need a license, and you're not going to get licensed in the Philippines for a pharmacist here in the United States, but certainly some other professional job in a pharmacy perhaps, but she needs the pharmacy to sponsor her. And it's April 1st is right around the corner, which means that you got to file the H-1B very soon.
Absolutely. Rosie says, I've been working on an H-2B for the past 10 years. Is there any way I could transition that into U.S. residency?
On an H-2B, you would need some other. You would need. There's no such thing as I'm on an H-2B and now I'm entitled to a green card. So you need some other way to do it. I don't know if she would need a consultation.
Ad says, I'm a naturalized U.S. citizen and want to petition for my parents, or at least for them to just come visit me. But I just filed for bankruptcy when I got divorced. So how can I petition for them? Is the fact that I filed for bankruptcy going to affect the petitioning?
No, filing for bankruptcy has no effect whatsoever. As long as you have an income that can support them 125% above the poverty level, plus whoever you're supporting, that's all that matters. No one's even going to question the bankruptcy.
Lacey says, after Typhoon Haiyan in 2013, my sister-in-law in the U.S. invited my brother here to visit their place as a tourist in Florida. She spent thousands for the processing of the papers of my husband. He complied for all the requirements, but unfortunately, he failed the interview at the embassy.
What was it that they tried to do? What did they try to do? A visitor's visa or a green card?
It seems like it was a visitor's visa because
why would you spend thousands of dollars on a visitor's visa? That doesn't make any sense to me.
It doesn't. They just said my sister-in-law invited.
They need a consultation.
Brother.
They need a consultation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
Violetta says, I have a granddaughter who's 9 years old and was abandoned by her dad, and her mom has different family now. Currently, she's in my sister's care, but I'm financially supporting her, and I'd like to adopt her.
How old is she?
What should I do? I'm a U.S. citizen. The granddaughter is 9.
Where is she? In America or in another country?
In the U.S.
In the U.S., don't do an adoption. You do a special juvenile immigrant. You show that it's not in the child. You go to family court, and you get a guardianship. This is the fastest way to do it with a child in America. You get, and every child who is not living with both parents should be doing this. Somebody should be doing this for every child who is not living with both biological parents. You do a special juvenile immigrant. You take that child. You go into family court. This is a 3-month process rather than going through a whole adoption. And you get guardianship, legal guardianship. And what you ask the family court judge to do is to make a special ruling. And you need a good lawyer to do this. Make a special ruling by presenting evidence that it's not in the child's best interest to be reunited with at least one of his or her biological parents because of neglect, abuse, abandonment, or some other reason. If the judge does it, which he should because he's giving you guardianship, now that child can turn around and apply for a green card within a year. And get a green card literally in a year. It's much faster than doing any sort of adoption. So now you want to adopt the child later on because you want to become that child's parent, by all means go do that.
Totally.
But for every child in America, the process should be special juvenile immigrant, not adoption. You do adoptions, a different process outside of the country, an orphan petition or a Hague Convention adoption, depending on what country you're in. We'll save that question for another day. But children in America should be doing special immigrant juveniles.
Francesca was wondering if I'm illegal, could my father from the Dominican Republic, can my father from the Dominican Republic come anywhere in the U.S. with a visitor's visa to do any kind of activity like a concert or something? Or are they going to deny him just because I'm here out of status?
They very well may deny him because you're there out of status. He would have to show like unbelievable ties to his home country because they're going to believe that he's going to do the same thing that you did.
Faith says, can I apply for a work visa? And if I get it, then come to America and start looking for work? How does that work?
No. It's like it's like what came first, the chicken or the egg. You need an employer to sponsor you. Then you come with the work visa. You don't come with a work visa and then say, oh, let me go look for a job.
Rona says, if I file for my children that are over 21, can my grandchildren who are under 21 travel with their parents, even if those children reach 21 by the time the filing is over?
We answered that question. Once you reach 21, you're off the case. However, they have that Child Status Protection Act. Go back and watch the show a little earlier. I'm not going to go through the Child Status Protection Act again. We have about 2 minutes to go. How many more questions we got there, Kim? I want to try to get through everybody.
I've got 3 more questions,
Okay,
Brad.
so let's go through the last 3.
Anna Lynn says, I have a tourist visa that expires in July of 2019. How can I go about renewing that tourist visa?
You have to go back to the U.S. Embassy.
Just do the process all over again?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Mary Lou says, I'm a daughter of a retired U.S. vet, but my father passed away. Is there anything that I can do to apply for a visa or any kind of visitor's visa through that?
No, there's no law that says dead dad gives you a visa. I don't mean to be cruel, but that's basically it. You need to have ties to your home country.
Sherry says, if you apply for citizenship 1 month before your green card expires, can you still work?
If you apply for citizenship 1 month before your green card expires, yeah, you're always a lawful resident. Why can't you work? No problem.
Perfect. And what should she do to keep her driver's license active if her green card expires?
If you have an active driver's license, it's fine. You don't have to do anything. If your driver's license expires, you're going to have to renew your green card also to renew your driver's license. It depends when your driver's license expires. But in other words, let's say your driver's license expires in 2019. Just because your green card expires doesn't mean you're not a lawful resident. You just don't have evidence of it to renew your driver's license.
So Francesca gave us a little bit more information about her dad. In terms of ties to his home country, he has been in his job
Is
for
this
more
the
than
Francesca
15 years.
from Massachusetts who was scared to go back because of
Scared to go to the Dominican Republic.
Dominican Republic, and she's up in Massachusetts? Same
Yes.
Francesca. Okay.
Same Francesca.
Okay, just double checking.
So she she wanted to see if her father could come here, even if it was for a concert. But since she's out of status,
Right.
is that going to preclude him?
It's not going to preclude, but what's going to happen is on the questionnaire, on the visa application, they're going to want to know where all your family is, and he's going to say, I have a daughter, Francesca, lives in Massachusetts, and it's going to say immigration status, and she has none. And it is now going to be a strike against him, or maybe even 2 strikes against him. So where he has to have even more compelling ties to get the visa, because the presumption is that if the daughter overstayed, dad's going to overstay.
So what she's wondering is, if he has been in his job in the Dominican Republic for over 15 years, he's got a house there, he is married there, he's got a whole family. Are those going to be enough family ties?
Maybe. It depends on the officer on any given day. You know, what the officer eat for breakfast, how your father walks in, did
the officer's wife kiss him goodbye before she left?
I mean, try. Worst thing they'll say is no.
And then I've got one last one that I'm going to try to squeeze in from Ainsley. She says, I'm a green card holder for a little over 2 years now. How can I go about filing for my son in Jamaica who's 14 years old?
How did you get the green card?
Ainsley didn't tell us.
Okay, if you got the green card as in you were on a waiting list for a green card, then the child should be following to join and should be able to come in a few months. If you got the green card as an immediate relative, either through a spouse, your spouse should be filing for the child because it's faster than a permanent resident because the spouse is a citizen. If you got it because your daughter or your son's over 21 and filed for you as a parent, and then you came up to the United States, then you have to file an I-130 visa petition. It'll take about 2 years. So the only time that you are going to file the I-130 is if you got it through your son or daughter who's over 21 as a U.S. citizen. If you got through marriage, your spouse is going to do it because that's faster. And if you got it any other way, your son was included on the case, and he should just be able to walk right in and get his green card.
Okay. Options.
There it is.
The king of options.
There it is, Kimmy Kim. Great job as always.